Os voy a contar una cosa. Mi pareja y yo tenemos una especie de maldición con las series. Cuando una serie nos gusta, se cancela. Pasa prácticamente siempre, tiene una temporada o dos, alguna incluso ha llegado a tener una tercera o tercera y media, pero ya está. Y hay una serie que se llama Sígueme and the Apocalypse, una serie británica que a mí me encanta. Es divertida, tiene una buena historia, buenas actuaciones, una buena puesta en escena, buenos efectos visuales. Pero es que además estos efectos visuales nacen en Malta, en Stargate Studios base Malta. Y dos de sus representantes han estado en la Malta Film Week hablando sobre su trabajo. Y la verdad, poder ver el antes y el después de cómo ha sido el proceso de trabajo de una serie que me encanta, bueno, ¿qué os voy a decir? Que ha sido estupendo.
Typical examples of green screen, so when you see green screen on a set, when you see tracking markers and actors, these are the tools that we use on set to work our effects. Most of the work then happens in post-production, so it's splitting this in two. But essentially what we do is we deliver expert digital intervention to add value to a picture. And this can range from designer shots to fixing something in post-production which was not expected to happen on set. So sometimes we're called in to save the day as well on something that was not planned. But most times we like to work on stuff which was planned because that's where together we can shine with the client and add more value to a picture.
Which is essentially a technique that we use so that the computer can understand the movement of the camera and replicate that movement in the background. Again, I don't want to get into too much technical detail, but more or less what we're seeing is that they are not there. And this is the final result. The photographic element that we shot was, again, from the location itself, so we filmed this part of the building to make it obviously match. The lighting matches, the movement matches. There's also a police officer over here, an actor. It helps the scene. Let me just try not to be too technical. So there are two types of materials that we can use, which we call elements. So little bits and pieces of stuff that we put in a shot. And those can be either photographic elements, so shot by a camera, filmed by a camera, or CG elements, which are digitally created in a computer by artists. For this particular example, we're just going to be talking about mainly photographic elements because, as you saw in the scene itself was set in Rome. You can see the Vatican in the distance.
They can do practically anything. They can fix nearly every problem. It takes time and money, but they can do it. The truth is that our job is to help the production economize and make more efficient the process in post-production. So the suggestions we give, it's true nowadays if you really screw it up you can probably still fix it. But we try to control the practical sense of the visual effects. And sometimes you're asked to de-age actors to take 30 years off on screen, and it seems impossible, but it can happen. So many things can happen, and many problems can be solved on PC, on a computer, by a very talented artist. But as producers and as supervisors, our job is to guide production into a way not to make that intervention impossibly expensive.
We try and preempt issues that might arise on set. And you have to be technical when you're explaining. As a director, as a DP, as any crew member, whenever you have a green screen up, for example, it is set for imagination. You need to imagine what's going to go there. Even if you don't have a green screen, you have to imagine traditional visual effects, adding stuff in computer-generated images, for example. You need to have a creative, you need to have an imagination to know what might be going there. But you need to also be technical to know if what you're shooting is being shot well so that the final effect will look good.
Si algo queda claro en esta charla, bueno, en la que dio Sam Nicholson y en varias otras que ha habido, es que la industria necesita unión y que una parte muy importante hoy en día son los efectos visuales. Las capacidades tecnológicas son abismales. Pero lo que sin duda ha quedado clarísimo en todo momento, en todas las charlas, es que lo que importa de verdad es la historia. Si no tienes una buena historia, si no tienes algo que contar, no tienes una película que hacer, no tienes una serie que producir, no tienes, en mi caso, libros que lanzar y artículos que redactar. Una buena historia es la clave de todo. En el caso de YouTube, la clave de todo es suscribirse al canal, dar a me gusta, compartir, comentar y ese tipo de cosas. Pasadlo muy bien y nos veremos en el próximo vídeo.